of the kids in her daughter's class were women.
Correct.
Okay.
2 women for every 1 man completing a
Is that what it
US
is now?
college degree, basically. Yeah.
All right.
Yep.
Not a good situation.
Yeah. That's a bigger gap than when Title IX came in 50 years ago.
All right.
The other direction.
This is a serious issue. And I think it is not incompatible to say that we believe in women's rights, the right of women to control their own body, that we don't want women to be second-class citizens. But say the same thing, of course, we want our young men to be able to have all of the opportunities that they deserve as well. And there has not been the kind of focus on that I think needs to be.
Do you know Richard Reeves? He does the American Institute for Boys and Men. Policy one.
I have heard of it. I don't know.
He wrote of Boys and Men. So this is just a passage from an article he wrote a little while ago. So let me get you to react to this. Suicide rates among men under 30 have risen by 40% since 2010 and are 4 times higher than among young women. Male suicides account for as many deaths as breast cancer. Men are less likely than women to go to college or to buy a home. They're more likely to be lonely and more vulnerable to addiction. Young white men from lower income homes are worse off than their fathers on almost every economic and social indicator. Yep. There is a bigger gender gap on campuses today than in 1972 when the government passed Title IX to prevent sex-based discrimination in education. But today, the disparities in college enrollment and performance are the other way around. There is no strong evidence that young men are turning against gender equality, but they have turned away from the left because the left has turned away from them. The problems of young men are not the confections of reactionaries. This is a story of elite neglect, not voter chauvinism. The Democrats have failed to address these issues. Under the Biden administration, the Centers for Disease Center Control and Prevention has refused to acknowledge the gender disparity in suicide rates. The White House Gender Policy Council has not tackled a single issue primarily facing boys and men. There have been initiatives to promote women in STEM and construction, but nothing about encouraging men into teaching on men's health. There is women's health research initiatives, but no office on men's health. The Democrats and progressive institutions have a massive blind spot when it comes to male issues, and this was exposed in the election. At worst, men are seen as not having problems, but as being the problem. That was Richard. He's as policy wonky, DC, fluffy.
I agree
as you
with
get.
much, not all what he's saying. I think, look, here is the issue. The world, in the fight for women's equality, the world has changed. All right. 50, 60 years ago, men were the breadwinners in most households, right?
Mm-hmm.
Men were the bosses.
Mm-hmm.
Men made the most money. Men were the governors. Men were the presidents. Men were the senators. It was a man's world. That's changed. And the fact that we have fought and achieved more equality for women is a positive thing.
I agree.
All right. But you're suddenly seeing, and I think half of what he says is
mm-hmm.
very true.
Mm-hmm.
You're suddenly seeing men feel, does anyone give a damn about me? You know, what's going on in my life? Good. We want women's equality. What about me? Have we paid enough attention to that? I think we have not, and I think we need to do a better job. I don't believe that everything that Reeves is saying is accurate.
I understand. But I was watching that now infamous interview that you and AOC did on CNN last week.
It was infamous? What, because Fox Television picked up on it?
Yeah.
No,
well, it's just gone
good.
everywhere. It's gone everywhere, right?
What was infamous about it?
This is what we're talking about. And then you kind of blew through when it was asked, is this going to be a challenge? That wasn't what I was interested in, primarily. What I thought was real interesting was she said the reason that Republicans have appealed to young men is a dangerous way. They are able to radicalize and target and exploit a generation of young boys, in particular away from healthy masculinity and into an insecure masculinity that requires the domination of others who are poorer, browner, darker, or a different gender than them. Do you think Democrats have done a good job of giving men a positive vision about themselves? She's saying that this is an insecure masculinity as opposed to a healthy one.
I'm not a great expert on this.
Yep.
I think this is a real issue.
Yeah.
And I think we've got to pay a lot more attention to it.